Hey guys, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you another Let's Play episode of Dawn Chorus, Devon's Path. So the last place we left off, Devon had kind of confronted us about what the sniffing thing that we did to his workout clothes. And, well, Rune was very, very upfront with how he felt, even though he said he was just kidding. I don't plan on hurting Panther Daddy at all in this run. I love him. And we're going to try and treat him very, very well. Please put a ring on my goddamn finger. Sorry about that. Okay. I don't know where that came from, folks. Okay. Anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy, and let's jump right into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up. Okay. He notices me right away and raises his paw before continuing to the table with the food. I really hope nobody else saw that. At least this place is almost empty now. Then Devon walks over with a plate to my table and sits down across from me. Hey! You needed something? His tone is subdued but friendly, and he's looking straight at me. Not really. I wanted to ask if you found out why there's no power. Apparently a fuse in a switchboard nearby was blown somehow. They only had to check if the malfunctioning circuit was unplugged before turning it back on. Some guy living in a cabin not far from here came to the guest house and apologized, saying it likely was him. Oh, it doesn't sound like anything serious. Although I was sure there was not a living soul anywhere nearby the guest house. It wasn't, thankfully. How's the food? The food? Oh, it's good, I think. I haven't really tasted it yet. The cake looks even better than the one from yesterday, and it's not an easy feat. I still have half my slice of cake, some berries and smørbrød left, but now finally my appetite is back. Wasting no time, I get back to eating. And the food is, again, really great, especially the tart, loaded with fruits and garnished with vanilla sauce and cinnamon. Devon eats fast, shoveling food into himself as if he hasn't seen food for a week. We finished almost at the same moment, even though I had a head start. This was nice. It was, even if Devon's words from earlier still ring in my head. But I have him here now, in front of me, and I know everything is fine between us. I think back to this morning, when I woke up in Devon's room. Now, it seems like it happened a few days ago, at least. Oh! What's up? I think I forgot my clothes in your room this morning. Oh, that's possible. You want to go there now to take them? I thought I would get them later. It's not like I need them right now, but I don't want to part with Devon just yet. This might be the last time I'm in his room. Yeah, no reason for them to stay there. Come on then, unless you still have some business here. No, let's go. Oh, please don't end there, please don't end there, please don't end there. Okay, thank God. We stayed quiet the whole way to Devon's room. I try to find something to say, maybe to ask him some question about the U.S., but nothing comes to my mind. All the sentences I come up with feel angular and awkward. So instead, I think of the past trips I was on with my school. We were never given as much freedom as we have in this one. It's nice being treated as adults. I'm standing in front of the door to Devon's room again. Am I still tipsy? I don't think so. Yet, I'm feeling woozy all the same. Come in. I walk through the door and Devon's scent surrounds me immediately. I can feel myself blushing slightly under the fur. It's weird how strongly I react to it. I don't think I've ever had anything like this with anyone else. Where did you put them? On one of the chairs, I think. Can I? Sure, come on in. I cross the carpet to the table and grab my stuff. After I leave now, there'll be no more signs I ever was here. I look around, absorbing the details. The colors of the sheets on the beds, the way the lamps cast shadows on the walls, the Discman playing on the table with a CD inside. I wonder what album Devon was listening to. I try to engrave the smell and sight into my mind. I can feel all my feelings for the man inhabiting this room pass through me, condensed to this single moment. I don't want to leave yet. A coach? I mean, Devon? Yeah? About what you told me in the sauna. Is that why you left and moved to Norway? To get away from homophobia? Oh. In a large part, yes. I admire those who struggle against it, who are visible and proud, but I couldn't be one of them. I just wanted a normal life, away from the spotlight, without being judged. I don't think that's too much to ask. I understand, of course. I think I would leave too if I were in your place. But I remember you saying you had a partner there? Yeah, but we were both living in the closet. That's even what we split over. Coming out to me must have been really hard for him. I had no idea. How did you meet then? Hookup apps, that's the easiest way. Everyone there is gay, so there's no need to pretend or wonder. Almost everyone there is looking for a hookup, though. Not that I can blame them, that's what these apps are for, after all. They can be rather awful spaces. If I can give you an advice, and if you don't have to, don't do it to yourself and stay as far away as possible from them, Carvine. You're young. I don't want to see you fall prey to someone waiting to take advantage of you. Maybe you want to sit down? Sure, thanks. I sit down on the chair my clothes have been sitting on while Devon leans against the wall. I hope I'm not being too nosy. I just wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but did you ever go out with anyone? No, not yet. Then remember not to rush and do things you would regret later. There's time for everything, and you're not missing out on anything. There's a certain feeling of dejection and loneliness that often comes after a one-night stand. Sometimes the whole thing is worth it, sometimes not. Devon looks to the side and scratches his head, stopping for a moment. Only now it hits me that he must have gone through the exact same things as I. I always felt a bit alone in this, but now I can talk with someone who understands it too. So, you had one-night stands you regretted? Oh, definitely. Almost all of them, I would say. I don't want to discourage you completely. There's nothing wrong with consensual sex, be it a one-night stand or not. It's a thing that works for some people. It doesn't work for it doesn't work at all for others. So you're one for the latter? I'm somewhere in between. I hope you don't mind talking about that. I wouldn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. No, not at all. This is nice to be able to talk about this, actually. I didn't out myself in high school, so I'd never had anyone I could talk like that with. I'm glad. You know, this feels liberating. And now that we're through the initial awkwardness, yes, he's right. Talking about gay stuff? Being so casual about it. So, can I ask something too? Go ahead. How many relationships have you been in? Technically 2, but one ended up the same week it started. Oh, why? It turned out that a relationship between 2 tops isn't easy. Oh, is he talking about Rune? It wasn't too serious, and it was bound to fail anyway. I was lonely and horny and sick of it, so I found someone from the neighboring state to chat online, and we started dating where we met in person. It can work sometimes, but it didn't work in our case. So that's really a thing. Tops and bottoms. I always thought that was something made up by westernized gay pop culture, not something that actually exists. Besides, I always had the impression that people the most in charge in their everyday life like to be dominated in bed. If I had to guess, I'd say Devon would be a switch at least. He's certainly switching me. On, that is. I couldn't resist. Well, not entirely. Everyone has their preferences, but these are only labels and never reflect the reality fully. I considered myself exclusively a top for a long time, but after some experimenting a bit, I no longer do. It was hard to overcome, but I understood that it was my insecurity and a desire to be more manly that wouldn't let me see myself in any other position. I hope you don't feel that way about yourself. That's wasting your life on trying to be someone you're not. No, I don't think so. I don't think I do. Not like I consider myself especially manly, or would like to be anyway. And your second one? You mentioned something about how being closeted ended it. Yeah, but I don't know if I want to hear it. I don't know if I want to hear it. It's a bit of a painful story, and it being rather recent doesn't help either. If that would help you, I'd be happy to hear it. So, we were going out for almost 2 years, and it was going really well. We lived in different towns and mostly met at his place, or traveled together to Toledo for weekends. These were almost idyllic times. Our first year together was the happiest I've ever been. But after that initial enchantment is gone, reality sets in. You know, when you love someone, it's easy to construct an idealized version of that person in your head and overlook the flesh and bones partner you're with. After some time, he concluded I wasn't what he needed. That kind of hits close to home for me. Yeah, that hits me right in the feels. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I kind of... Man. Okay. I'm alright. I wasn't brave. I didn't want to introduce him to my family or my friends. I didn't want to kiss in the cinemas. One time when we were spending the weekend in Toledo again, he wanted to walk along the lake shore holding my paw, and I refused. We had an argument and split up the same day. That's pretty much it. Pathetic, isn't it? I could have saved my relationship if only I wasn't so frightened. Oh, Devon. That's heavy, and it seems like he's putting all the blame for this on himself. But I understand his partner, too. I imagine that being in a relationship would be so joyous I would want to share that joy with the world, not hide it behind a closed door. Maybe you couldn't. I wasn't there, and I can't know everything, but I think you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. No, this is 100% my fault, and I knew I needed a change for myself. And I'm trying. The fact that I'm talking about this with you here right now means that I'm making some progress, doesn't it? That's good. So, you loved him? Yes. Do you still love him? Well, love isn't forever. I'm doing well here. I think we'd better leave any other discussions for tomorrow. It's getting late already and we both need some sleep. I think that some types of love can last forever. I think that some can. I nod and get up from the chair, clutching my clothes in my paw. And this is coming from someone who has been hurt multiple times in relationships, especially a very long-term relationship. I still think certain kinds of love can be true, can be forever. It doesn't just go away. I hate to sound cliche, but many different types of love are actually special. A lot of them aren't superficial. A lot of them hit us in our soul. Anyway, alright, this is not about me, this is about them. Okay. Some small part of me wants to ask him to let me stay here for the night, but I know the answer would be no. Not after yesterday evening. Not after our conversation in the locker room. I don't think I can forget that. I'm glad Devon can pretend it didn't happen, but I can't forget. Instead, I look at the Panther, fixing my gaze on his lively amber eyes. I wonder how he looked at the man he once loved. What was he like? What Devon saw in him? Good night. Good night, Carvine. Oh, fuck. I want to know what he likes doing. I want to know how he spends his days. I want to know how he looks standing at the edge of a lake with sunset reflected in his eyes. I want to know his fur smells. I want to know how his fur smells in the August sun. I want to know how it would feel to hold his paw. I want to know him. I cannot see the surface anymore. It's serene here, yet I cannot calm myself down. There's no comfort in stillness. The sensation of sinking is overwhelming. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced. There's no ground under my feet, and I'm only descending deeper. Is this some sort of trial? It has to be. The boundary between the lake and me blurs. I spread my arms and start swimming downwards. Ah, God. Okay, guys, so this is... Okay. Alright, so this is going to be the end of Devon's path for now. Let me... I already saved it. Okay, so let me go further and see what the creators have to say. Hello, it's good to see you again. I hope you enjoyed the update. It was an interesting one to write, and it took us some time to get everything right. Huge thanks to Cam Wright, who took care of the proofreading this month. We want to thank our patrons for support. It's thanks to them that this project can continue. If you like the game, please consider becoming our patron. By supporting us, you can get new builds of Dawn Course on release, plus other perks, like access to polls and sneak peeks from the upcoming updates. Next update for Rune version 0.14 is already available for our patrons, but I only do public builds for you guys. If you liked our visual novel, we recommend making an itch.io account so you can follow us there and leave us a rating. We're also on Twitter. Ooh, I know they're on Twitter. Okay, I'm going to have to follow them on Twitter. Thank you, and until next time. You guys are wonderful. God, you guys are so awesome. Alright, guys. For right now, that is the end of Devon's path. It ended on kind of a bittersweet note, but there is room there. That door is cracked. We can still go through that door. We just have to put some effort into it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and leave a super thanks if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!